Okay, Torah concept, New Testament, walk in the light. Okay, so the call to walk in the light, Paul, in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 8 and 9, and in John, in 1 John chapter 1, verse 7, reflects the Torah's foundational theme that God himself is light and his people must walk in his ways. And the Torah consistently contrasts light with darkness as obedience versus rebellion, revealing in revelation versus blindness, and life versus destruction. Okay, so the Torah parallels. One is Genesis chapter 1. God separates the light from the darkness, establishing the symbolic pattern of divine order versus chaos, okay, or nothingness, no existence, right? And 2, Exodus 13, God leads Israel by a pillar of fire, a literal light guiding their way. 3, Exodus 25, the menorah continually burns in a sanctuary representing God's illuminating presence among his people. 4, Deuteronomy 5, verse 33, Israel is commanded to walk in the way God has commanded, the Torah's equivalent of walking in the light. 5, Deuteronomy 30, choosing life and good is choosing the illuminated path of God's commands. And 6, Numbers chapter 6, God's face is shining upon Israel, symbolizing divine light, bringing blessing and direction. 7, Deuteronomy 32, God is perfect and upright, but Israel becomes corrupt, showing the contrast between God's light and human darkness. So the context here is that Paul and John's exhortations to walk in the light stand firmly on the Torah's imagery of God as a source of light and his commands as the illuminated path. In the Torah, light represents God's presence, his revelation, and his clarity that comes from walking in his ways. Darkness represents rebellion, confusion, and separation from God. Paul and John extend the imagery by presenting Yeshua as the embodiment of God's light and the Spirit as the power enabling believers to live in that light. Walking in the light is therefore the Torah's path fulfilled, living in alignment with God's revealed character and truth. So the core insight here is that the Torah teaches that God's presence and commands form the light by which his people must walk. Paul and John build on this foundation by showing that walking in the light means living in truth, in purity, and clarity, revealed through Yeshua, rejecting the darkness of disobedience and embracing the life that God intends for us. Okay, so again, this is how Paul and John taught Torah in the New Testament. The Torah has not passed away.